Megaforce, the 1982 action-adventure, sci-fi and fantasy film, was born and inspired from movies like Star Wars. And not unlike Star Wars, this film was made to sell toys, as it was clearly marketed towards kids. Megaforce was originally going to be a long-running television series and branded franchise for kids in the style of Robotech and Transformers. Writer and producer Bob Kaeshler approached former stuntman turned director Hal Needham, who had made a name for himself directing comedy action films like Cannonball Run and Smokey and the Bandit. Kaeshler told Needham the basic idea and plot for Megaforce, and originally thought Megaforce would make a great TV series. However, Needham thought it sounded more like a movie to him. They both agreed on making a film and started developing a script, working with writers James Whitaker, Albert Ruddy, and Andre Morgan. Interesting to note that before getting the project of Megaforce, Needham was trying to get the rights to G.I. Joe, but was turned down. Originally, Needham wanted to make Megaforce more serious in tone, and in the early stages of development, wrote a more serious script, but writer Ruddy didn't want to do another serious Dogs of War style movie. He wanted a more campy, fun spoof kind of movie. Needham would work with toy company Mattel and the film studio Golden Harvest Pictures, known for its many martial arts films, wanted to break into the Western market. To do this, they produced a number of films along with Megaforce, including High Road to China and Blade Runner. Megaforce was the perfect project for Needham, who had a passion for stunts and vehicles, and collaborated with designer William Frederick and Larry Wood from Mattel on the design of the vehicles, down to the detail of vehicles like the futuristic flying motorcycles and the Doom buggies. They estimated the cost to be over $1 million to design and create a number of functioning vehicles that would take over 9 months to build. Needham would remark, "It's like no other movie ever made before, and the machines we've built are extraordinary." For costume design, there was no known costume designer, but all costumes would be designed by Mattel. The outfits designed for the film was mainly tanned lycra that our heroes would wear. Needham was excited to be a part of the film and was optimistic about its success, that he even planned to film a Megaforce trilogy. But unfortunately, this would never happen, as the film didn't turn out to be the hit they were hoping for. Set in the distant future of 1990, the story is about two fictional countries, the peaceful Republic of Sudan, who are unable to defend their country from their neighbour, the evil aggressors, Gamibia. Sudan asks for the help of Major Zara and General Burn White, who enlist the help from a secret army called Megaforce, a group of international soldiers who use technically advanced weapons and vehicles. They are headed by a hotshot commander, Ace Hunter, who leads the soldiers on a mission to destroy the Gamibian forces, who are led by Hunter's arch-nemesis, rival and former military academy friend, Duke Guerrera. Megaforce's main mission is to defend democracy, peace and justice around the world. Their secret headquarters is situated in an underground desert mountain base. Weirdly enough, the Megaforce only use their first names and each have no rank. Barry Bostwick was cast as Commander Hunter after he was seen by producer Al Ruddy in a stage production of The Pirates of Penzance, and thought his acting style suited the over-the-top, campy style of the film. Bostwick was mostly known for his work in the cult hit The Rocky Horror Picture Show, and in later years played the mayor on the hit TV show Spin City. Megaforce would be the first time Bostwick would receive top billing in a film, and he signed a 3-picture deal covering possible sequels. Bostwick would put all his heart and soul into his character and the film. He kept the beard he wore for Pirates of Penzance to develop a particular look for his character. The beautiful Persis Kambata co-starred as Major Zara. Persis at this time became popular after starring in Star Trek The Motion Picture in 1979. Michael Beck was also cast. He had starred in the cult hit The Warriors in 1979 and the musical Xanadu in 1980. Others cast in the film was Edward Mulhare, who had starred in the series The Ghost of Mrs. Muir He was about to star in the TV hit Knight Rider. Ralph Wilcox, Robert Fuller, and known character actor Henry Silver, who was usually cast as bad guys, was also cast in the film. Megaforce had a budget of $20 million and was shot on location in Nevada. The film introduced a new high-tech, cost-effective system called Introvision, which was a system that allowed actors to walk in and out of photographs. The movie required some dangerous stunts. Hal Needham was actually injured during the filming after he fell off a motorbike and broke several of his ribs. The missiles used in the film were actually model rockets, manufactured by a company in Raytown, Missouri. The filmmakers were so impressed with their accuracy over distance that they redid some of the battle scenes to take advantage of this. The great 80s music score for Megaforce was composed by composer Gerald Emile, who composed music for such TV hits as Dallas, Logan's Run, Knots Landing, Voyagers, the 80s Twilight Zone series, to the action series Walker, Texas Ranger. The score for Megaforce is everything you want in an 80s film, featuring an awesome synthesized soundtrack featuring great 80s style guitar solos. The title song for the movie was titled Calling to You by 80s rock band 707 and was successful enough to be remade twice by Journey and by the band Comet, which was fronted by Ace Frehley from Kiss. Director Needham, while promoting the movie, spoke to Starlog magazine in an interview that was released well after the film's release. He was so confident that the film would be a success that he hinted at the possibility of a sequel being made and already had a title, Deeds Not Words. The film was predicted to be a hit, so marketing the merchandise was very important. Mattel, who helped co-produce the film, already had designed Hot Wheels cars from the designs of the movie's vehicles, along with a Desert Strike track set and a Mega Destroyer dune buggy, released in 1981. An Atari 2600 video game based on the film was even released, and the game received good reviews. The advertisement for the video game would even feature a very young Bryan Cranston in the opening of the commercial. Megaforce was released during the summer of 1982 in the US and was released on June the 25th of 1982 against some stiff competition, including Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, along with Blade Runner, E.T., Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Firefox, and Poltergeist. Domestically though, Megaforce would only make just $5.6 million, nowhere near the $20 million it cost to make. The reviews for Megaforce were disappointing, and the film would die a quick death in the cinema.
At first, Roger begins with an adventure film called Megaforce.
Well, this one is a real loser. Megaforce is one of the most confusing, pointless, and muddled thrillers I've seen in a long time. Anyway, Megaforce was directed by Hal Needham, a former Hollywood stuntman who specializes in making movies in which the characters are only an excuse for the chases and the stunts.
Megaforce would fare better on video when it was released in 1984. Hal Needham called the film kind of a version of James Bond, done with a hell of a lot of less budget and no Roger Moore, but it was a high-tech, good right-wing film, and I thought it was kind of interesting. But Needham would later admit that commercially the film went right in the toilet. Regardless of the film's failure at the box office, years later it would garner a cult following and even influence a number of filmmakers like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who have said they were inspired by Megaforce and would use it as the basis of their movie, Team America World Police. Megaforce was a film I remember watching on late night TV in the mid to late 80s. It had everything an 80s kid could want in a movie. Explosions, great over-the-top action, awesome looking vehicles, especially the flying motorcycles, and the whole army is dressed in futuristic looking lycra outfits, and the film had a killer soundtrack. The film to me is a dream come true and is an ultimate cheese fest. I'll be honest, I wanted to be Ace Hunter, dressed in lycra with a cool beard and a headband, riding a flying motorcycle against a downright laughable backdrop. It's everything an 80s movie should be. Yes, I can look back at Megaforce with fond memories and not be afraid to admit it. My name's Jonathan, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and like what you see on my channel, please subscribe And if you would like to become a patron on my Patreon, click on the link below.